Hello! Welcome to episode 120 of We Have Issues. I'm Anthony.
And I am Stevie Wildcard.
And every week, Stevie Wildcard and I get together and we take all of the issues that life throws our way and we frame them for terrible deeds so that they get cold for Christmas and hate themselves and their lives. They get no joy, Steven. We steal the joy of our issues so then we together can get something done. We destroy our issues.
Collectively as a town, we basically ostracize one individual, the issues individual,
Yes.
and we kick him out of town. But there's this one lady who has fond memories of those issues and keeps the jewels and still loves the issues after it's all been said and done.
Oh, we're going live action Grinch.
Yeah. I went with the full-blown capitalism is evil tale.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very, very true. So our issues are evil. They are the evil Grinch. We're hoping that our issues heart grows 3 sizes this day and just gives up and joins in the fun and helps us make comic books. So most recently we've been making a supernatural action horror comedy called Deathless, and we finished issue 1. It looks amazing. Steven, we're about to ship off to all of our backers and if people will purchase the book online already. How's that going?
It's going great. Things are boxed. Funds have been shipped to me via Anthony, so I have the money to do so. And labels are going to get printed and things are going to ship. I'm not sure what the holidays are going to bring, but I feel like most of the holiday chaos is probably winding down at this point.
I feel at this point we are just tempting the fates by even guessing. We are not. This year is
the U.S. Postal Service is closed down after 200 years in service.
It's literally everyone closes down. It's just Kevin Costner with one truck. He's like, I'm doing my best. He's just fighting through a horde of zombies to get our comics to the people.
UPS, more like ship. UNS.
So for those of you who have never seen our show or just aren't totally caught up, Steve and I have had a freaking year. We will talk about it in our next episode. I do want to have a bit of a recap of our full year and kind of go through what we've been through and what we're hoping to achieve. We'll do that in the next episode. This is mostly our Christmas episode, but I do want to say it's been a rough year and we have definitely learned. Steven and I have learned to not take anything for granted, hope for the best, and just keep our heads in a freaking sand because we are. I
literally feel like a statue that's stood in saltwater waves for 200 years. That's what this year has weathered. That's how much this year has weathered my frame. Dude, the iron is showing.
It's been crazy. It's been a weird year. But 'tis the season for joy and fun and ridiculousness. Previously on We Have Issues, we've made Christmas songs. We've done silly movie pitches and different stuff like that. I want to do a couple of these kind of fun Christmassy holiday segments this week, Steven. I want to start off with one. So on our show, we have segments every once in a while. We talk about the kind of stuff we've wanted to do, kind of stuff we're doing, what we're making. But we also do just things that we think about throughout the week, things that get in the way. We talk about our issues, and some of those things are just the distractions that happen in my dumb, meat box up here. And one of those, Steven, is something I like to do with you called the monster test. And we're going to do a monster test today.
Ooh, guess what? You know what that means. It's time for a fresh new theme for the monster test.
Wait, a new one? I'm pretty sure
it's just the same one. It's the same one that's been going since the beginning, but it goes. It's the monster test, and it's holiday monster test, holiday time monster test. That's the best one. I mean, that's the only one.
That was the only one. It's the same thing Steven does every time. He's always nailed it just like that.
It's the verbatim. It's just.
So this is the monster test. It's a segment that we do in which we just explore the inner workings of a particular supernatural entity. It's fictional and otherwise. Sometimes they're real things that we just delve into, and we're just we're gonna get to the bottom of a werewolves. Which, by the way, would be pants, right? Why do werewolves always wear pants? What's with that? What's with werewolf pants?
Why is everything else ripping but pants aren't? They're just
I mean, it's the Hulk has that issue too. It's let that wolf dong just
I want to see that girth on that Hulk is what I want to I'm imagining the veins on it are bigger than mine. You know what I'm saying? Just the veins.
You mean your real veins, not bigger. No, comparing your downstairs situation to spinners.
I'm imagining the Hulk at his angriest. Okay, no roids. He's just that big because he's that big. I'm saying that main vein that's pumping that green meat. I'm saying it's probably a handful, just the vein. It's
green eggs in a handful.
Green eggs in a handful. Oh, is this your? No, that's my vein.
Steven.
That's
okay, well,
that's
the
what
monster,
powers the hog.
monster we're supposed to be talking about is not the Hulk's dong. We're not supposed to be talking about that. We weren't. I mean, we could talk about the Grinch. He is green as well. Also, probably just massively. No. Okay, but
Massively unmanscaped is what I imagine for the Grinch.
Yeah, but he also grew 3 sizes that day, Steven.
There has to be at least there has to be at least one pornography with that, right? Like
I mean,
where there's a Grinch porn where
I mean,
one certain organ grows 3 times instead of the heart. I got it.
It has to be. So in this edition of Monster Test, we are going to be talking about a creature of just supernatural, reanimated proportions, known as Frosty the Snowman.
Ooh.
Now, I just have some questions, Steven. I have some questions because the song suggests that there must have been some magic in that old hat they found, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
what was the hat? Was it silk? The old silk hat?
Old silk hat we found?
Is it
yes,
silk? Okay.
Yes. So it's an old silk hat. Don't know where they got this hat. I'm not sure. You know, they just blew in the wind. They discovered it. They put it on. Was this hat possessed by a demon, by a ghost? Was this hat possessed by something, and that person was brought to life in the body of the snowman?
So what you're telling me is the spirit of John Candy was trapped in a silk hat.
100%. Yes, I am.
And came to life as Frosty the Snowman.
Mm-hmm.
Back in time.
That's what I'm proposing. Like John Candy's spirit trapped in a hat, floating around. Children find the hat. They're like, "Oh, this looks good on my snowman." Place it on, and it finishes much like Forky from Toy Story when he gets his final piece and he comes to life. But that has the spirit of whatever creature was possessing it, and he comes to life, right? I mean, so he is. Could you? Okay, so question the first. Okay. Of course, when the sun comes out, snow melts, Frosty's gone, so to speak. Although, I mean, energy transfers. I mean, the snow becomes water. Can could he be a frosty puddle? That's a different question.
I mean, it's kind of pathetic because like Iceman, for example, is like an omega level mutant that like can literally freeze things that don't even have moisture in them. But Frosty's just going to turn into a puddle and not be able to power through the sun.
Right? Doesn't seem likely. It seems like he would be able to survive it or travel with the cold to a Arctic climate of some sort and make it, maybe survive. Regardless, would he not simply continue to possess the hat, much like a genie in his lamp waiting to be reborn, right?
Yeah, it's just the puddle. The puddle is not Frosty. Frosty is the hat.
Right. So Frosty is that. I mean, that is his snail shell, right? Like he comes out when he's given a body. So I guess my first real question is, Steven, could you put the hat on other things and have Frosty reanimate those things?
Or is it strictly like it only powers snow?
Yeah,
is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like what is it? Yeah,
what is it? If the magic came from the hat, wouldn't that suggest to you, or it suggests to me, that if you were to put the hat, say, on a dead body, perhaps, could that body be puppeteered by the?
There must have been some magic in the old silk hat they found, and when they put it on that corpse's head, it began to Weekend at Bernie's 3, Frosty the Snowman.
I'm just saying. I'm suggesting here that if that was what the magic was, if it was the hat,
it was the hat.
It was that. I mean, it said there. I mean, they don't say for sure. They say there must have been some magic. They're guessing. They're like, maybe this. But that's all we know. They're like, that's all we have to go by is the song.
So like, or it could just be the town in which it was, and like you put like a fedora on a snowman, and you either get like a douchebag hipster that drinks IPAs or
douchebag hipster that quit drinking for one reason or another.
Or that too.
Those are your only two options.
Maybe it's just any hat on a snowman. No, I think you're right. I think it's the silk hat specifically. So like you could build like there must have been some magic in the old silk hat they found, but when they put it on the Iron Juggernaut's head, it began to shred the town. Like it just.
Yes.
Like just
so that's okay. So I was wondering because that's what I think. I feel like if you created this heap, you're like ha. It's like how are you gonna bring that to life? You can't make that crazy transformer monster work. And it's like yes I can. I found this silk hat. And you're like wait what does that mean? and then you're just
not only is this robot look stylish as fuck, but he's about to destroy you.
Exactly. So it's just like you can do so much with that. But even if we're just assuming, like, all right, look, it has to be snow based. My question is second, okay? Frosty the Snowman, right? Can he continue to control snow around him? Like, could he continue to pack snow on his body to get larger, or is he stuck with whatever?
Or is it like a freeze frame, like a snap?
Yes,
whenever the hat lands.
Wherever the hat lands. That was my question. Like, could he build a body and just lift the hat and put it back on? Like, could he? Does the hat have to be on him or just on his person? Like, could he build around the hat and continue to expand his body like a giant Zord? And the hat itself is just the heart of like Tootsie Pop center of the Zord.
Like if he had to like move the hat to a new construct, like, dude, I'm just imagining like he makes this giant like snow construct and then just rips his own head off with the hat still on and puts it on the construct and then just
be amazing. I'm just like, why? We need more.
I'm gonna kill that magician. He's never getting this hat back.
I mean, is that what it was? Like, was it just a magician who lost his hat? I think that's what it was in the cartoon, right? In the cartoon version, wasn't it like it was a magic hat? He tossed it. Yeah.
Because he couldn't pull the rabbit out.
Yes.
The rabbit trick wasn't working. And then he's just like, well, screw this hat. And then when the kids made it work, he's like, well, I want that hat back. Like every douche character does.
Oh, of course. But I mean, he didn't know that the hat was possessed. He was just frustrated in its inability to pull rabbits, right?
And I'm going to be completely honest with you. If I saw that my hat had magical properties and some kids had it and they wouldn't give it back, I'd murder some kids for my hat.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, yeah. I would, like, I hate to say it, but it's true.
I hate to say it.
Take some children out of this mortal coil.
You're not separating me from my magic powers.
No, not a chance.
I messed up by throwing it away. You're not wrong, but I'm bigger than you, and I'm taking it back.
I can physically overpower you and also want magic.
You can't have the hat back. What if he just threw like a right cross in that movie? Like he was so courteous for a villain, really.
Oh yeah. Oh man. It's interesting. Like that stuff's pretty interesting. Like I watched this. I don't want to get too into it because I have to edit this all today. But like it's weird to think like when you accidentally give something away or lose something and then you realize the value of that thing and you're like, oh, wait a second, you know, like there needs to be like some sort of like recognition of like the hey, like let's all understand that we'd all feel this way, you know. Like we need a rule to understand like it was an accident, it happens. If it happened to you, you'd want the same thing. Let's give we need some forgiveness here. He wants a magic snowman just like you do. Although let's just put this out there, what was the magician going to do with the snowman?
It's a good question. He didn't have a snow wife.
Yeah.
He didn't have any wife. There must have been some magic.
I don't know. I don't want to.
I'd say he's a power bottom. I was gonna just like cut right to it. He definitely doesn't have top energy.
I mean, it was a top hat, not a bottom.
It was. I mean, Frosty has the top energy now, right? I mean,
Frosty the bottom hat.
Frosty the top man. Always gets.
Steven, what does our podcast be going? Hey, so
I've had 2 glasses of Crown tonight. I think that's what happened.
So I'm just like I'm fascinated by that, and like I want to know. Okay, I mean, of course, there are no answers here, and this is part of what I like about the monster test because we're just extrapolating. We're just kind of like guessing at certain things with like the little clues that we have. If it isn't a toy, it gets more convoluted and interesting if it is simply Toy Story rules. What if the snowman just came to life because he was completed as a toy, and then it was just
a by chance situation?
Yeah, and like
because they really did they even try other hats? No, they did put that one hat on him, right?
Did they? And they try to bring it back? I don't remember. I should watch the cartoon first.
It's been a while, and I think you can watch it on YouTube. But I think so because it costs money. That's the only thing that sucks. Like these things are like 60 years old. Like let's just watch them for free. Like on, I should be able to turn my TV on with no subscription to anything. It's just Frosty playing.
I mean, why is there not a Frosty channel with all of our variations, or just like an infinite timeline of various Frosties where they put the hat on different things? It's just like, well, here's this one, and it's just like just like on fire. Like, what are you doing? But I don't know. Whatever. You're right though. And especially like the way when we grew up, is because we're like ancient now. We didn't have any kind of streaming services, and like growing up, I had like basic cable, and it was one of those things where it was like unavoidable to see these movies.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was on TBS for 24 hours. Christmas Story's still on TBS, I think every Christmas. But not to mention, you also had VHSs where you just ripped that stuff. Your parents had the VHS copies of it, not even like the official VHS copies. We're talking about the ones that have the stickers where they hand wrote Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh yeah, they copied it. I mean, and then of course it becomes like the Michael Keaton multiplicity where it's like copy number 12 and it's like all warped and weird. But why? It's weird. It's weird how that works. If you ever watch, like, I got a VCR and I watched RoboCop on VHS. I put it in. I was like, to see if this like VCR works. And I put it in, and it looks just straight garbage, like straight trash.
Dude, and I'll never forget. Because we had been watching DVDs forever at that point. Yeah. But like, I'm talking like fresh out of high school, we're watching DVDs. I'm like, oh, I want to watch League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Yes. I own it on VHS. That's all. I don't have it on DVD. Dude, I will never forget popping that movie in and just hearing, and then just like choppy. And I'm like, wow, how did we live like this?
We lived like this. I mean, that was, dude, we got on the internet and we listened to robots trying to take their own lives or something. I don't know what was happening with dial-up, but like I'm
pretty sure it's satanic rituals that were happening.
It was a satanic. It was crazy. It sounded like, if you ever heard the dial-up sounds, which I mean, I'm sure a lot of our viewers have, it sounded like a robot from the future begging us to stop, like saying, like, listen,
you are tapping into. These are dark magics you do not understand.
Magics. You are not going to like where this is headed. You'll never be able to watch Frosty again. You'll never get it. You'll have to pay every time.
Dude, I just want, and this is probably oversharing, but I just want the rest of the world to feel my pain. Do you know how horrible it was to be sleeping? It's 2:00 in the morning and you hear fidgeting in the living room and you hear those atrocious sounds, and you know those sounds are being used to summon more ungodly imagery by your father. And like, what's he doing? Like, that internet at best would look.
Dude,
it would load a picture like every 4 minutes.
No,
maybe.
It was the worst. It was the worst. Now I shouldn't. You overshare. I mean, that's your dad's overshare. I'll overshare. I remember going into one of my aunt's like computer rooms with my cousin. I won't say which one because I'm not a snitch. All right, but I remember. Yeah, but I remember going in there and we would be like, you watch the door, I'll watch the door. And like, we'd take turns and being like, how do we do this? How do we crack this?
I just imagine like hackers, like,
yes,
I'm in.
It felt like trying to break into the Pentagon, just trying to see like Carmen Electra, like with no shirt on. Like, oh my god, I gotta see it. I really like singled out. I gotta see this. And like, and it was like just like standing by the door waiting for any adult to come by. I'm like no.
They're gonna find us out.
It's slowly loading, and you're like, I know what her eyes look like. I see them every day.
It's a nice chin, Carmen. It's a beautiful chin.
Wonderful. Why did it start loading from this area up? What are you doing? Terrible.
Why did it work its way out 2 different directions, starting from the thing we want to see? So I guess our monster tests have proven that we are the monsters, Steven. We have been the monsters all along. Turns out we were the monsters the whole time. Yeah.
So
I think we're just going to go with it. The hat is the magic power. And in the Frosty universe, it can be used to summon any sort of. Now, the question is it always going to be friendly? So, is it a friendly spirit? Because Frosty seems pretty friendly.
He does seem pretty friendly. It might be because he was awakened around due to children, perhaps. Like, maybe it was like whatever spirit and like vibe is happening at the time. You know, you're awakened and you're like, you know. He wasn't. It would be hilarious if they put the hat on and he like spun around. He's like, "Who disturbs my ancient slumber?" Just like, whoa, this is the same spirit from that cave of wonders. What is happening? It was just,
I am the demon spirit of 10,000 years past.
I mean, it could have gone the other way, Steven. Like, he could have been an elder god, and like those children could have been in deep trouble.
I imagine like Doctor Strange is like watching the kids and like the little girl's playing with the hat and he's just like, there's one chance you get the good demon.
just one. It's just every other world they created Game of Thrones is what happened. Winter was coming.
Winter was coming. Yeah, dude, just like full on like death.
So, and that's why Frosty's a monster, and I'm pretty sure we cracked the gates of Frosty the Snowman in a way that no one has attempted yet. I love doing the monster test. I every once in a while I sit there and I'm like, what monsters haven't we talked about that like people would actually enjoy hearing us talk about or like would be fun? And like lately I've been like, I don't know, I'm going back and forth, and just out of nowhere I was like thinking about the hat, and I was like, what if we chopped it up? What if we just like stapled it to bodies? Would that same magic make a zombie army if you wanted to? I'm like,
and could you inadvertently cause a zombie apocalypse by putting it on the wrong thing?
Yes, like there's so many things you could do, and like you said about the who knows what spirits coming up, based on that hat. I don't know.
What would be crazy is if it was like a carousel of spirits and like that hat just like has them swirling around. Like
the hat is legion. It's just they're living in the hat. Whatever
they just happen to get the happy one the two times they had to utilize the hat, but like
it's like a split, the James McAvoy as Frosty the Snowman.
Patricia's not. Is it Patricia's not? What does he say? What's the famous line? I don't know. It's been memed 1,000 times, but yeah.
But anyway, it's been a week. I work retail, so I've been just swamped in.
This is your Super Bowl. This is your Super Bowl.
It's been a time, dude. And I'm cashier now. Like historically, I was always just like a person on the floor, like a stock person, like someone who's in customer service occasionally, helping people. But this is my first time ever working during the day during Christmas, and I'm just like, ugh, not used to this, not yet. I am like I'm getting used to. I'm like, I'm okay, I'm getting through it. But it's been a time, and I was just like going through that. I was like, I don't want to shop at all. I was like, I did all of my shopping online this year. I was just like, I don't want to go to any store. I don't want to deal with any of these people outside of this situation. Like, if I'm not being paid to see that person, I don't trust myself to not say something. Like, this is crazy at this point.
Yeah.
You are nuts.
Dude, I found that Amazon had more things in the places I went to anyway. I mean, besides the cool adult section in Target, and by adult section, I do not mean, I mean like adult toys. Like, and I don't mean adult toys.
Adult toys.
Like, I mean like action
Frosty
figures.
The Snowman level.
The Hulk vein level.
So, but have you gotten all of your shopping done now, or?
Yes.
Yeah, you guys are good.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Oh, that's awesome. I have wrapped 0 gifts. I have not wrapped one single gift.
Tina got some wrapping done today.
Must be nice, Steven. Must be nice to have a.
It just cuts to Tina rap battling Eminem in like her closet for some reason.
Oh man.
There must have been some magic in that rap battle in there.
Yeah, it must be nice. It must be nice to have a Tina, Steven. I get it.
She's a badass.
Yeah, she's amazing. I love Tina. The closest I have to that right now is this OnlyFans scammer that I've been talking to on Snapchat, who just keeps sending me stuff, Steven. I don't know. I don't.
And it's the same person?
No, it's a new person, and but this time she's sending me this like things for the same like actress or whatever.
So she's whoever he or what?
Yeah.
They've done their research. They've at least. And even if they run out, they've at least maybe photoshopped someone with the same face.
It's just this. It's a guy now. It's just like it's completely. It's a fisherman, but it's
got her face. Yeah.
Oh man, no, it's been crazy. I've been getting a lot of those messages. I wish they would respond though. Like, it's not as much fun as the Twitter bots, because the Twitter bots try hard and they respond to you. They'll just keep sending like silly, like ridiculous, sexy messages, and then never talk to you or respond to anything you say. So I talk to them. I try to come up with stories with them, but I don't know. It's not as much fun. So I end up like just walking. Like I used to get to like when I was bored at work, I would just sit there and I talk to bots. No bots have been talking to me, Steven. So you know what I've been doing? I've been thinking about Christmas movies. So
lots of them.
I've been thinking about Christmas movies like for weeks now, and I can't stop. So I have a couple of really quick Christmas pitches that I want to throw your way and see what you think.
So sometimes you just gotta Keep it on. Pitches get stitches. That was a little Step Brothers reference that didn't go out the way I thought it would. I'm Horatio Sands, okay? We strictly play 80s Joel.
So every once in a while, Steve and I will do a segment called "Pitches Get Stitches," and it's when usually I just spit out some stupid idea that I've had, and I probably won't ever do anything with it, but it could make a fun movie one way or another. And I'd like to imagine that, Steven, I imagine that all of these ideas exist in like the alternate universe, that like at least one of them, right? Like Doctor Strange has seen these movies and he enjoys them a little.
He has to. They have to have been like the premium ones, like the first few visions he was seeing. He's like, oh my god, these movies though. Can we just stop right here? I mean, screw the universe. Like Iron Man, he's dead. Who cares? Let's watch these movies.
Yeah, like I mean, even, so Steven, I was thinking about. Do you remember that? Like so recently, or not recently? So a million years ago, we did a pitch where I was talking about like us and what we would do if there were vampires, right? And I was just like. You'd believe me. I was like, you'd believe me.
Absolutely.
If I said there were vampires. So I was like, so I was at work today. And I had this idea. And I was just like, Steven, what if I call you up? And I was like, Steven, I met Santa Claus. And like, because
From that point forward, Steven looked at me in a whole new light. You're a fucking lion.
Yeah. So okay, so I watched so the other day, like it was last night, Atlas and I watched Ernest Saves Christmas, right? And in Ernest Saves Christmas, he meets Santa Claus, and he's just like, and at first they're like, you know, he's like, oh, whatever, Vern, what, Santa, and then he like very quickly is just like, oh, he's the real Santa Claus, and it just like goes along with it the rest of the movie, and I'm like, yeah,
accepts it,
you know. But I was like, I have seen this plot so many times, like Miracle of 34th Street. I've seen this like same plot where it's just like someone meets Santa, and then like for a second they're like, oh, you're not Santa, and then they see there's some kind of magic or something, and you know, and then they're like, oh, it's Santa, and then they like all go along with it, and they save Christmas, and you know, he's Santa. But Steven, what if someone who's been inundated with these movies, just consumed them my whole life, and I'm just like, I meet some elderly, bearded, jolly, whimsical old white man who claims to be Santa, and I'm just like, I'm not going to be the one who ruins Christmas. Like, I'm not going to break Christmas.
I'm not risking this.
I know.
Can you just do some magic for me, Santa? Like he coughs in your face. You're like, that's good enough.
Good enough. I am all
well,
in.
Saint Nick, it's a pleasure to meet you.
So I imagine I call you and I'm like, Steven, I met Santa Claus. He needs us to get some reindeer for him. It's just you and I just stealing reindeer. And like
I'm imagining like one's like a horse with like a
with
a red nose glued on.
They are. It is a hodgepodge, like just the most what's the word I'm looking for? Motley crew of misfit reindeer you've ever seen. You know, just ragtag reindeer all day. Including probably your brother as one of the reindeer,
and a raccoon with some antlers glued on.
Yes, just is
that a jackalope? No, it's
so I imagine like, but like we're doing this, we're trying to get the, and then like things get dark, Steven, because like these are often horror movies, and I was thinking like we're trying to help this guy, and he is going around doing terrible things and just destroying homes. He is the grinchiest, most awful. Like
now I'm just imagining that you basically accidentally stumbled upon him breaking into a house, and he's just like, yeah, I'm Santa. Go get me some
definitely
reindeer,
Santa. I'm definitely.
Get out of here and give me some reindeer. And like we show up with the reindeer, and he's like, hey, and he's like breaking into another house.
Oh yeah. Oh no. And you just keep sending us off on different like you know, wild goose chases. Just like, oh no, go.
Build me a sleigh.
I need a sack. I need a big sack, a bigger sack, so I can fit this TV. I mean, fit a TV to bring into this house. Not you. We'll test this one. So you're just constantly sending us away. See, now I just want to I just like I want that to be like a jovial, like a funny, silly, like almost like Biodome like level of quirkiness like movie where we're just collecting all this stuff for Santa and don't realize it and then have to turn the tables. But Steven, what I thought about at work was so much darker. I was just like, Steven, because I got to this place and then I was like, ugh. But now I'm like, I can't do it. I can't. It's Christmas. We can't murder people, Steven. Not us. But I was
Santa
thinking,
can.
Santa can. And
Santa can.
Santa. So I was thinking, old Saint Nick would slay people just left and right. Like we're going around to these different houses, like, oh, what's going on? He's like, they were on the naughty list. We're like, oh, okay, we didn't know. We thought it was just coal, but
we upgraded from coal, baby.
It's changed. The times they are changing. The internet is here, and so is the fear. Like we are not dealing. I don't know. I'm not dealing with the Santa situation very well. And it would be called Massacre on 34th Street. We were just...
There's no murder weapon because he eats the candy canes.
That's true. It's a good idea, Steven. It's a good idea.
Sharpen the candy canes and then,
Yeah, I mean, it would work, right? But I love the idea of you and I just running around like these hapless fools. Especially, I like the idea that like you don't believe it at all the whole time, but you're like you don't want to spoil my Christmas spirit because I've been through a bunch. You know, you're like, I can't take this from him. I just can't do it. I can't. He has to have this. At the end, I imagine you would put on like a fake Santa beard, like, be my Santa, and be like, I knew it.
The magic is here.
The magic is real, and it's been in my best friend all along. But just okay. I have one just real super quick one. This is a real quick one. I don't know why this is a thing that I haven't seen exist yet. But I imagine, Steven, just a real quick pitch. There's a creature, right? Much like a cicada, like much like the creature like the Jeepers Creepers, like the standard mythological beast that is awakened like yearly, not every 17 years, yearly, right? Like it senses something in the air and it awakens. And every December, I'd even say the day after Thanksgiving, like the day after Thanksgiving, it wakes up, rears its head, and it belts out a song to lure people in. And I think
in the distance, they're just like, I don't need love for Christmas.
So this song lures people in this beast, this just this monster, the succubus like siren, just devours the essence of its victims. It wakes up, and it is every year Mariah Carey.
This is the sequel.
in All I Want for Christmas is Youth. That's what she's doing. She's eating people, Steven. She's eating the blood of the innocent.
She's just devouring them. Luring them in with her siren song.
It's so funny how it's become a thing now, right? Like
Mariah Carey every year.
Every year we're gonna
Dude, so Mariah Carey 8 is gonna be like in space, right?
It has to be. I mean, if it's not, we have to do the standard like Mariah Carey. There has to be like, then there's gonna be like an extra good one. Then there's one in Las Vegas. Then there's one in the Hood. Then there's one. And then there's one called Mariah Carey, but she's not in it. It's actually someone imitating Mariah Carey. Yes. Oh yeah, of course. And then there's gonna be like Mariah's Carey, like they just spell it differently, and it's like Mariah's Carey origin, but it has nothing to do at all with the original 8 or 9 films.
I don't know.
It's like, but everyone's gonna go see it because they're like, oh, but then we all get mad, and that's why it gets the reviews it gets. But anyway, but I don't know, I love it. I think it's so funny that like those kind of things become memes, and like now Mariah Carey is just like synonymous with Christmas suddenly.
Yeah, she's like she basically like. It's like her favorite holiday, so much so that the world has just acknowledged it. Like, yep, you're the queen of Christmas. Like,
you get it. It's fine.
And I'm sure there are plenty of people that hate it. They hear the song, they hate it. The holidays are coming. Halloween's not even over yet. What's happening? But that there are people where it sparks great joy, like hearing Mariah. Like Mariah Carey is ushering in the season. It's the season of giving.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, they are her army, and they feed her. That's what they do. They feed her the souls of the people who don't.
I'm just imagining like a Pink Floyd-esque song, like we don't need a lot for Christmas. Don't.
Oh man,
There is just one thing we need.
I have nothing against it. I've gotten past my like cynical hatred for like seasonal joys that people find, and I'm just like, especially after this year, I'm like, look, I will find any joy I can in anything I can, and I will not take anything from anyone. I am not interested in it. I will humbug the hell out of people who want to humbug the hell out of people, though. That's like my one. I'm like, I don't like that, and like that's what I got on before when I was talking about the Christmas songs, where I'm like, well, you can't yell at me about Halloween if you want to do the same thing with Christmas. Stop it. Stop it. You know,
I was just thinking about it. Do you think Nightmare Before Christmas was made so Big Christmas can look like it's not the bad guy? Like Halloween's trying to steal our time. We're not trying to steal Halloween's time. No, we're not. Like, no, Halloween's the one that gets the shaft. Like Santa was coming to Halloween Town and taking like stuff from Halloween Town. He's been doing that.
Dude, it's that movie.
Where do you think he got the elves?
Right. That movie drives me crazy every single year, and I'm like, I feel like we're at the point as a society where I feel like I'm not allowed to talk about it, because and this isn't getting political, but I'm just gonna say, like, it's tricky when people don't seem to recognize nuance. Like I feel as if like if you critique something even playfully, there will always be this loud, crazy voice that says like, "Oh, just shut up! It's my favorite thing." And I'm just like, okay, but I also love it. But let's just point out for a second that Jack Skellington is literally the villain of that movie. It's like,
he's a horrible person.
He's a horrible. I mean, first of all, movie makes no sense. None of the movie makes sense. And like I'm saying, and the reason I feel like I'm not supposed because I love the movie. I love the movie. Not only do I love
the movie so much that you've decided to overanalyze and completely pick it apart and find the flaws in the storytelling.
And I still love the hell out of it.
And you still love it. That's what happens when you love something so much. You eventually destroy it. Like that's just how it works.
I do. Like follow any of my relationships, and you will see that I'm not good at any of this. I overanalyze things until they are gone. And
if you really think about it, like the true hero of Nightmare Before Christmas is Sally, and it's her level of dedication. Like Jack doesn't even like really fully notice Sally until it's like, yo, I done fucked up like a lot. Like no one likes me. I'm the pariah of 2 holidays. But you're awesome and I love you. So let's get together. Like
it's very true.
That's basically what happens.
I mean, I would say that the hero of Nightmare Before Christmas is Oogie Boogie. And I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I feel like it's so obvious. Oogie Boogie does nothing wrong in that movie. Now people could say Oogie Boogie tries to eat Santa Claus, or Oogie Boogie captures Santa. No, here's the thing. Jack Skellington chooses, of all of the people in Halloween Town, chooses people, children, mind you, that he knows work for specifically Oogie Boogie. And you know that he knows this because he says to them, and leave that no good Oogie Boogie
out of this.
Okay, why would you say that to them unless that was an issue? Like I'm not gonna go. Like if I go to my friend and I'm like,
can I just add that the kids like immediately sing how they're gonna bring him to Oogie Boogie?
100%. Within earshot.
That Jack guy said. So what are we gonna do? What do you think Oogie's gonna give us for giving him Santa? Like this is crazy.
Jack knew it. So okay. So what are we saying?
Jack was trying to execute Santa Claus.
Jack was 100% trying to execute Santa Claus because he knew that he would. It's not fair. Like Oogie Boogie is sure he's the gun that Jack pulled the trigger of. Yeah, like that's that. But he's a gun. That's what he does. You can't blame Oogie Boogie. Oogie Boogie does not leave his lair in the entirety of this movie, save for one scene on the moon, and that could be some weird shadow projection. We don't know. But every scene of Oogie Boogie, we see him in his own lair, minding his own business. He's just a bunch of bugs doing his best, singing and just hanging out by himself. His his hench people, his own people, bring him a gift. As far as he knows, it is a gift.
The greatest sacrifice that could ever be brought.
And, like, here's the thing. These are monsters in Halloween Town. There are literal vampires. What do vampires do? They drink blood. They subsist. They live for blood. You know these creatures are bloodthirsty monsters. A lot of them are monsters, right?
And let's be honest, though. He says, what are you going to do to me? I'm going to do the best I can. Like, he doesn't really specify.
No.
Maybe he does.
So, okay.
But if he was going to play, like, awesome dress up with Santa? We don't know. Like...
but it's like, okay, but I'm just saying that regardless, from Oogie Boogie's perspective, right? He is a monster that was simply brought a thing to play with. He doesn't know about Santa Claus, you know? Like, he knows, he's like, oh, look at this guy. And, like, he's just playing around with him. He's a monster that does that, and it was dropped into his cage. You wouldn't be like, you don't fault a snake when someone drops a rat into their cage, right? You're not like, oh my gosh, what an evil snake. You're like, oh, it's doing the thing that snakes do.
And can I just add that if Santa was so powerful and magical, like, Oogie is just like playing with all these different mechanical contraptions. Like Santa, like literally should be able to magic his way out of that situation.
Yes, is he not a magical engineer? Like, he can do nothing? And not to mention, at no point in this entire movie were any elves or Mrs. Claus concerned about Santa's disappearance. No one, like they don't go looking for him. You don't see elves, like, okay, the story might be different if elves begin to show up saying, like, where's our boss? And Oogie was throwing him into the meat thresher or something. Like that's different. No one was looking for Santa Claus. Santa Claus was just like, oh, he's gone. I guess we're good. New Santa Claus. Get Tim Allen in here. Like they did not care. They were just like, oh, well.
And we need to double back. And correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it Sally that lets Jack know that Oogie has Santa?
Yeah.
So Sally's like, Jack, the kids took him to Oogie, and Jack's like, oh, shit, that was the plan, but I guess I'll be the hero now.
I don't know. You know, like, what am I gonna do? And then, like...
And then he shows up in Oogie's, and Oogie's like, what's going on, Jack? And he's like, I gotta kill you. He's like, but this was the plan.
We worked on this together for years. Oh, man. So it's just, like, it's crazy. And then Oogie Boogie, by the way, like, I feel like Oogie Boogie could reconstitute at any time. He is a bunch of bugs that fell apart and could come together in a different sack, right? Is he not? Like, I don't understand what Oogie Boogie was. Like,
here's what we need. What we need is a giant pile of bugs
and a hat.
And Frosty's hat.
That's exactly what we need.
And we're bringing Oogie back.
But hey, I can go on forever. I almost made like a full video about that movie. I'll do it 1 year.
I'm Beryl, aren't I? I'm friggin' Beryl. If I'm one of the three kids, I'm Beryl. Barrel's the short one with the skull mascot.
Yeah. Atlas was Beryl for Halloween last year, or the year before last year. Yeah.
And Locke is the witch?
Yes. Yeah. I guess I'm the other one, which I was for Halloween.
Is it Jacques or Shock?
Shock.
I'm Locke, Jacques, Beryl. That's how I remember it. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure it's Shock.
Shock. Yeah.
But anyways, he was the cool looking one anyway.
Yeah.
And you're definitely him.
Thank you. But I don't know, that movie, I mean, I love that movie. It just
it's great.
Drives me crazy, but I love it. I mean, there's so many little things to pick apart. That's why I keep thinking, like, I want to make a full video about it, because it's like, he literally is just like, what's this? There's white things everywhere. And then it's like, they're children throwing snowballs. How do you know what a snowball is, but you don't know what snow is? This song in itself, no consistency, makes no sense. What are you talking about? What is happening?
He should have called him a ball of what's this? It was like, that's a ball of whatever the hell that stuff was.
It's just like the whole thing. It's just like like Jack is the most dudeliest, like, Dunning-Kruger dude in the world. He's just like, I don't know what any of this is, but I'm gonna take it over. I know everything there is to know about it, and I'm gonna be the leader. I'm in charge now.
Jack is just he's mansplaining Christmas to the Christmas folk.
He did it. It's so funny. Like it's just I don't understand. And then of course at the end he's just like, oh, what the hell? I did my best. It's like, no one wanted any of that. You ruined everything. You totally screwed up Christmas. He traumatized children, by the way. Like we don't, like, no one, everyone's just like, well, let's not talk about that. Children, there was a tiny severed head in a box for a child on Christmas. Presents attack children and try to eat them. He destroyed lives on that day.
There are kids with some serious PTSD in that universe.
And I will say, it is probably my favorite Christmas movie. It's still just top-notch Christmas tale. No, it is great though. I love that movie.
It is fun. It's a great movie.
So okay, all right. So every week we talk about a bunch of nonsense, have fun, talk about what we did. Steven, I know it's Christmas this week, but are you planning on doing anything this week?
Like project wise, yes.
Yes.
So as you can see, the previous week I did finish the cover and finish page 1's inks. Anyway, I mean, the only reason why I even colored the dice was just to I wanted to see what the lighting effect would look like on. Yeah. Like color, and I actually did color it I just dropped a flat color. I sent it to you with a white background, but I did drop like a solid color just to see, and it looks good. Like that light effect does look like a blur. So yeah, page 1 and the cover are done. So I do want to progress on page 2, and I do want to ship everything this week is my plan.
Yes. Dude, that's amazing. I didn't really talk about what I did this week. I got some writing done this week. I did punch up some of the dialogue and stuff. What I've realized is like I haven't made any structural changes, and I probably won't. Like I think the book is pretty solid structurally, like with panels and such. It's just gonna be like little dialogue things. So it's not like I'll send you whenever I know I'm finished. I'll send it to you so you can read it if you want to see whatever little changes. But it's just like little tweaks that I've been doing. But I did that. I did like 5 pages where I kind of like punched up things. I was like. And some of it, I'm just like, I'm happy with it. I think it's a pretty solid book. I'm excited for people to freaking read issue 2. But this week I do have Thursday. I do have to wrap gifts, of course, but that's not gonna take my entire day. I'm kind of in this limbo place where like part of me wants to just start writing issue 3 and just do it, and then part of me wants to like work on another project like the Anthony Dates Robots book, or like write like I've been wanting to write those like vampire shorts like for Vampthology, and like try to get that together. I'm not sure what to work on, dude. Like I'm kind of like in that weird limbo place with that stuff, because normally I'm just like I'm working on whatever only thing we're doing, like whatever you and I are doing together, that's what I'm working on. But I'm like, I don't really have to write issue 3 yet. We have like I have plenty of time.
I can start sending you like you can have page 1 though.
Yeah, I mean, I could letter that and flat it.
Yeah. So, yeah, so that's cool.
You send me that stuff, and I'll start doing that if page 1 is done. So I
because that gives me like more options. Like when I'm working on the comic, to like, let's say I only have enough time to shade something. At least I can progress on the comic. Yeah, even if there's not enough time to draw. So that should work.
Yeah. So yes, send me that stuff. I'll start trying. Like I'll start flatting and stuff. Awesome. I love doing that because I mean it's productive. I'm actually getting something done, and I can like watch stuff while I flat, which is that's one of my favorite things, because I can't do that while I write. Like when I write, I'm just like, everybody leave me alone forever, and I'm in this little like tunnel. I wish I wasn't like that. I can write with noise, but like I just prefer like total silence, and I just sit there with my thoughts and just live in this story.
Dude, I feel you though. I kind of do that too. Sometimes I do put on stuff. Like sometimes I'll listen to Don't Make It Weird or other stuff like that. But yeah, I get the silence. Like it's like comforting in and of itself. So
yeah, man, it really is. And so, like, I mean, I'm not someone who like runs from my thoughts. I do like sitting there and just kind of like working through things. I've been actually like, one of the things I've been doing this week is I started writing kind of journaling again. I do this thing where I write notes to myself, and I just like say like, this is what I want to do today, and like this is what I think I'm doing okay, and this is what I'm failing. Because like I've been like since the breakup, I kind of find myself kind of in that limbo place where I'm like, what am I doing enough? Am I not doing too much? Am I doing too much? Am I what do I do? And then I don't want to regret things. I don't want to be like, I should have spent the day doing something, so I'm just like, I try to, every day I write to myself and I plan what I'm going to do. But now I'm in this weird place where I'm like, I want to write. I want to keep like writing stuff. So maybe I will start working on issue 3 and just get it going, because like worst case scenario, I'm way ahead, and
yeah, and then like even if you don't love what you like, you probably will, but even if you don't love what you wrote, it gives you an awesome like rough to like go back at and see like what, because like I've even learned from like the first issue, stuff evolves as time goes on and as things get colored and as things look and feel a certain way, and like so yeah, I get it. So like I mean, it's cool to have the rough there, because then it's so much easier to tweak details on something that already exists.
Oh my god, yeah, dude.
I've always loved that. Like when Brandon was little, he used to draw like the craziest characters like that I would never think of, like just like crazy like shapes and stuff that I wouldn't even consider. And I would always love recreating that because like the vision's there. I can just adapt and like
Yes.
add detail to what's already been like kind of seen, you know, what's
Yeah.
been glimpsed into whatever universe you peeked into, you know, and it's cool. I like that. So like that's like what you would be doing. Like you do a nice rough draft of 3, and it's like whatever you want. It could be the final draft. It could be just the basis of what you're gonna do. And it's awesome.
Oh yeah. Yeah, dude, I'm pretty excited. I'm like I really am excited for 3 too. Like I really have been enjoying this book and like the process of it. We haven't really talked about when do you want to do the Kickstarter for issue 2? We haven't really talked about that. We should probably start trying to like start talking to the people and tell them like we're gonna kickstart this book at some point.
So I mean, I guess we just probably follow the trend, right? It seems to be the trend is like we started around this time, we pitch it in March, and then
Okay.
I'm hoping this coming year, the summer won't be nearly as catastrophic, and we'll have it actually shipped by June.
I don't even like. I'm scared to even say it, Steven.
Yeah,
I'd like to imagine. Like I have the highest hopes that next year, at the very least, personally for you and I, we won't suffer that the way we did this year. You know, that's I mean the world at large, who knows what's happening, like, you know.
Yeah, don't get us wrong, there are tons of fires that are active at all times, but get that.
But with you and I mean, we went through a lot this year, and we'll talk about that next week. We'll get into it next week, but I have high hopes that like we're gonna get a bunch done this year. So I like the idea. Okay, you're right though. March 4th, that's our
March 4th. Yep.
We're doing it March 4th. That's our plan. Our Kickstarter is going to be on March 4th, but until then, we're going to get as much done as we freaking can. I love that we already have this cover done, though. That's the thing I think we were really missing in our first one, where like, because especially how much that cover sells the hell out of this book.
I think that cover is pretty epic. I was trying to like upstage 1 as much as I could. 1 still has its character too. Issue 1's cover for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it. I love the arcade throne. I love yeah, I love the punching. I love the anime punching action. Like, I'm not even looking at you. I'm just freaking.
It looks so good. I love that cover. But anyway, that's what we're doing this week. Thank you all for watching. Did you have anything else you wanted to say before we do our goodbyes?
No, you all have a Merry Christmas, and we will see you shortly after, because it won't be the new year when the next time we speak.
That's true. We have one more time. We get to talk about everything we're going to do next year.
Everything that sucks.
We're just gonna talk. It's gonna be an hour and a half about the Hulk. That's just 1 hour, solid hour.
Everybody, there's one thing that, you know, me, Anthony, and the mutants over at Table 9 don't ever understand.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I haven't watched The Wedding Singer in a minute. I think I need to pop
The Wedding Singer is my favorite Adam Sandler
dude
movie,
it's a solid you're right. I think it's the best written out of all of his early ones.
It's my favorite.
Sure.
Like, it's the one that I think about the most, like the one that has the best lines. All right. But thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. If you're only listening on one of the various podcasting apps, thank you. But also head over to youtube.com/WeHaveIssues and hit the subscribe button. If you're watching right now, please hit the subscribe button wherever it is over here. And just help us out a little bit. We really do appreciate you. It's been a really great year with all of you. I mean, not personally a great year, but the podcast has been great. I've had I think
it's been a weird year in terms of personal pain and personal growth with the comic, though, and the podcast and the friends, and there's been a lot of positives this year. There's no question.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. So thank you all for being a part of it and being a part of our colony and joining us. I hope you all have happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and everything you celebrate. A happy, like worshiping Satan. I don't care.
Whatever you do.
Whatever you do, just do it well, and we love you. We appreciate you, and we hope to see you next week. And it's gonna get weird, Steven. Next week is gonna get weird. We're gonna talk about
dark.
Dark. It's a dark freaking period.
It's a dark period.
It's a dark period.
It's like our third one, but yeah.
Yeah. But thank you all. We'll see you next week. I'm Anthony.
And I am Stevie Wildcard.
We'll see you next time. Recording in progress, Steven. We're doing this. Okay.
Look how festive you are.
I know. I found my shirt. I've never worn this shirt before.
It was pretty. I wore it like last week, I think.
Yeah.
It was. It's a good fit.
That's what reminded me that I had it. I usually, I usually don't I'm not usually a big fan of like the rectangular designs.
Yeah, they always feel weird on your chest.
Yeah,
right.
that's how
Like
I feel.
if you,
I feel like it should look more like a superhero, but it doesn't. You know, like
I am not Superman.
No,
This is just sticking to me because I live in Florida.
yes, I don't know. Like it's just something about that just drives me crazy. But I went with it. I'm going with it. We're gonna have a Christmasode, so I figured one of us should be festive. At least one of us.
I'm like, do I have anything? I don't think I do.
That's what happened to me. So I actually stole this hat from work. I was like, and I took
You
it.
all stop being Grinches and give me this damn Santa hat, okay?
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is they're like, hey, if you would like to wear a hat on your shift, we're going to make them available to you. And I was like, I refuse. I will never do that. I will never put a hat on my shift. It's not going to happen. You don't pay me enough to put that hat on. However, I will steal that hat and I'll wear it for free.
I do need this hat for later. For other purposes.
For my own purposes. I'm not going to explain why. OnlyFans. It's
just the hat.
It's just that. It's just that.
Just the hat over that.
It's barely staying on, Steven. I just can't keep this thing on.
Well, yeah, no, it's filling it properly. It's like it's a taut fit. It's just holding on with the sheer
just sheer well. You think it's really my South Pole. We should have been properly called the North Pole. I mean, I guess it's pointing north. Nope. Come on, Steven. What do
we always get so dirty.
Get so dirty when we're like we're recording, but we're not. I think it's because like for us, it hasn't like the show hasn't started yet, so we're like none of this matters. And I'm like I'm gonna put it all at the end.
People are gonna tune into specifically that part every week and talk about it.
What if I actually like how low-key hilarious and perfect would it be if no one ever watched any of our show but always fast forwarded to the after
they
credits
just think
stuff?
we're the raunchiest, like darkest, like we have like the
it's
filthiest jokes.
It's like we have issues after hours. like it's like those guys, the dads went to sleep and here we are.